Hi, good afternoon. There is such a presence with us all right now. There is there's an overlay across the entire earth plane right now that came in, it's been coming in gradually over many, many months. Starting this last Tuesday, it is a different, I'll talk a little bit louder, it is a different, it's a complementary overlay. It's like it is another blanket. Is another blanket to soothe the hearts of humanity. And on Tuesday, there was an activation that came through the sun. And I want you to start paying attention to the sun. There's practice some people have where you're going, you actually, as the sun is rising or the sun is setting, you do sun gazing. And that's where you kind of, you don't, actually when it's just coming over the horizon or going below it, you can actually look at the sun without hurting. Otherwise, just kind of avert your attention a little bit. Let the rays of the sun come into your body. You may start to see that. You may start to see the difference in the way the sun glows. If you don't, that's okay because it's still present. After this video, I'm going to post another video that someone had taken, I think in England, and it shows the portal that was opened over the earth. And it's actually, it's about 2 minutes long. I need you to watch the whole thing. But it shows the opening of the portal. It goes across the entire globe, the top of the earth. And it's comes from the Andromedan galaxy with help from the Orions, with help from, just comes from the galactics. And it's allowing this energy to be embodied into the physicality of Earth and all beings on Earth. And when you watch it, it's so interesting because you can actually just see this dome of pink go across. And I want you to, when you watch it, if that's what you choose to do, is just see how it resonates with you and what truth you get out of it. And so we want to talk to you today is about seeing through the eyes of love. And to see your life through the eyes of love. We're going to do an activation today. We're going to do some different things coming through. But I just want you to recognize what's actually, yes, Mary, things are here, right? There's many distractions going on that want to, for whatever reason, we don't need, if that's something you want to go discover and we want to talk about that another time, that's, we can do that in session work, but just know that there's distractions here to keep you in the old paradigms, to make you see the divisiveness, that things aren't working well, kind of life going on the same old way. And yes, we have to see it. We have to see it to believe it and understand it. And then you start to change it. But what I want you to also see and really just start looking at everything a little, take a pause when you look at something. When you look at a person, just take a pause, 2-3 seconds, and ask to see what's actually there. Okay? If you're visual, you may see the auric field, you may get a sense of something, you may hear something, it's just a pause. Or if you look at a tree, or if you look at anything, just take a pause and I ask to see with my clearest eyes. To feel with my open heart and understand with the wisdom of my soul. And what you will see and what you will discover is that this is truly just momentarily, it may feel like we're in an age of destruction, that we're tearing things down. That's not totally accurate. We're actually expanding things. We're building things up. We are creating peace. When I woke up this morning, it is the field that I am resonating with and the field that I am immersed in right now is one of such utter peace and divine love that there aren't really words. It's just a feeling. So I'm going to offer that to you. And again, it's just funneling it into your direction because it's not like I do anything special for you that you can't do for yourself. It's just making it aware and then we kind of, it's like traffic cones. We just direct it into your energy field so that you can feel it also. And then we do have, we're gonna direct energy in a minute. But what this weekend is about, every energy has multiple, because we're multidimensional beings with multidimensional universes and multidimensional assistance. The overarching, the help we're getting this weekend is clearing the heart space. And it is, they're going to say bypassing trauma. It's going to that first connection to love before you took human form, before you separated from your family of origin, and before there was any trauma within the soul. So what we have here, we have the mothers of all are here to help you heal and understand. And for many of us, more accurate, for all of us, there's been a time in our childhood that we weren't mothered in the way that was best for us, made the most sense to us, or was exactly what we needed. And it does not matter who your mother was, if she was the absolute best mother or a mother that was, lacking in many ways. There were moments in our childhood where we just didn't get or feel what we so desperately needed and wanted. And then for those of us became mothers or parents, there was times, no matter how good we were or how good we are, there's moments we missed the mark. So what we have in here today is this just beautiful, and that's what this winter solstice is about. This winter solstice is about healing, soothing the hearts of mothers who could not love and nurture in the way that their soul desired, and that their highest self understood that this is love. And for those who received a miscommunication of love. This goes out to every single human being on the planet. It goes deep into your cellular structure. And then the really cool part is it goes to those around you. So you may be watching today or listening next week or whenever you listen, but it also goes into your lineage, but it goes to those you share space with. So by you embodying and absorbing and being part of the energy of again, the words don't do it justice. But as you embody this love that comes from your creator, that comes from the moment you were created and actually before that, you embody that, it automatically, it fills you up and then it just releases out from you. And I'm watching, it's a very slow transmission today, because what we're doing is we're lining everybody up with their counterpart, with their angelic being, their galactic being, their light being. That's been with you on your entire earth journey, that understands you and knows you so well, is standing with you, nose to nose and feet to feet, and is aligning with, it's like a, it looks like a computer image to me or something. It's aligning every cell within the body, every ley line or every matrix line, or however you want to describe it. It's like, it's almost like a carbon copy, I guess is the way to say it. And then it's easier to for those of you who know me, when I get into this space, it's a new vibration for me. It's an expanded space for me. It's like floating on air. So it's got it. So my vibration, I'm getting there. My physical body vibration has not matched my new vibration, my new expression of my soul completely. So it's a bit of a, the body takes a bit of a tag along. And so my words just kind of get lost in the mix. But this weekend, this summer solstice here is about expanding love on the entire planet. And so what you will notice, and maybe you don't notice it today, but you'll start to notice that you start to see people in a different way. You start to understand that everybody has a reason for their story, everybody has a reason for their behavior, and everybody has their own definition of love. And it's all okay. Because we're coming to over the next 2-3 years, we're coming to a head where our definitions will start to match. And I also want you to, before we go into the transmission, where does your unconditional love end? And for some of us, your unconditional love, it may not even exist, and that's okay. It's about the awareness. So unconditional love is, I love you. Let's start with, I love me. I'll just start with me. I love me. With all my missteps, with all my misunderstandings, with all the things I did that weren't my best, that I gave to others that weren't my best, to all the talk I give myself that's not loving and kind and generous, right? So I have learned to go beyond that most days, to where I love myself without expectation and without conditions. So then look, do you love your children without condition? Or the people you share life with, right? And if you do have conditions, that's okay. Just recognize them and know them. And then I have condition if I love my children, and I'm just going to use children, parents and children, because that's an easy one that most people can understand. I love my children because they call me every Sunday, or they make sure I'm okay, or they listen to my advice, right? So where's your condition? And then, can you love the person that has a different viewpoint than you? And they'll go beyond that. Can you love the person who has done something wrong, that has a different definition of right and wrong to you? Can you extend that out to someone who's committed a crime, to a liar, to a thief, to a murderer, right? You know the gist I'm getting there, so I don't have to go into every little thing. But just see over the next couple months where your line of unconditional love is. And if you like where it's at, that's perfect. That's wonderful. That's where you're at. And I'm not saying you need to be anywhere else. That's why the words are limiting. It's like, it feels like a judgment. It's not. It's helping you, if you choose to, be aware where you're at. And I do see a question from Sweden. Is there any reason for learning in breast massachusetts for mothers? So that breast, yeah, it's where you're, somewhere in the soul's history, it's the most conscious thought immediately is, am I able to nurture my child in the best way possible? Do I have all that I need to nurture my child without causing harm? And that's mostly an unconscious thought, but somewhere within you that might actually be a conscious thought. Is that a fear? Is that a fear that I can mother in the way that I want? Can I mother perhaps differently than my mom or people that I know? So it's always that nurturing space is, was I nurtured or can I be nurtured? And that's pretty accurate for most people who experience that. Here it's very accurate actually. So I hope that helps, Sweeta. And then we're just hesitating because we're still aligning up with everybody that's watching or will be watching. So just for a moment, and it's okay if you don't feel anything, because I can guarantee you it's happening, because I see it in the energy field. And I see it around you. And I see, with many of you, I see the physical mothers that you have in this physical life are present with you, but also the mothers of the world and the mothers beyond the world that are here to help. So for the best of your ability, if it feels right to you, again, take whatever I say, what resonates, bring into your heart. And if it doesn't, that's okay too. And just take a moment, take a deep breath in, and allow this, it's an activation within your body And some may feel very peaceful, like just a, oh my gosh, that just feels like I can stay in this space forever. Some may feel absolutely nothing, and some may get really agitated, annoyed, and kind of maybe a not really pleasant feeling. They're all accurate. Because these transmissions aren't for just, it's not a one and done, it's for each individual, exactly where you're at. And for every time you watch a transmission, it goes into where you are at your current vibration and expands from there. So you could watch this video or any of my other videos 100 times each, and you get 100 different experiences. Okay. Any questions before we get going? Or go further, I should say. Wonderful. Okay. So we're going to do some toning now, which goes right to the heart space. And for many people, there's it looks like a loose wire. Would be a pretty good way to say it. From your heart space to the connection to source, the connection to creator. And so we're just, when we do these tonings, it aligns you in a better way. And that's not for everybody that's listening, but in some part of your history, that's been true. So we're just going to find that space where you weren't totally connected to your heart space. And today we have the Pleiadians helping us with that. We have the Arcturians. We have, they say to quit minimizing the help and calling it by one, calling out one race or calling out one thing. This is the cosmos helping, right? So from every dimension and from every source of love is where this comes from. And you may hear different tones, you may sense different tones. And from the love of creation, from your mothers of origin, comes the deepest love for the greatest transformation in this time, in this moment. It may just come out silently for a few moments because it's such high vibration, my vocal cords can't match it yet. So for those of you who are having heart palpitations or ringing in the ear, we're just going to take a pause in a moment to just recalibrate and allow it to come in at your height, at your speed that resonates most harmoniously with your actual physical energy stream. This is not, our highest, greatest desire is that this comes in at your recognition, at your pace. But your equilibrium may be off for just a moment or two. Please drink lots and lots of water. Sit down, lay back if that's best for you. Some may even need to sit with your legs crossed. Whatever you're guided to, please do that. We also want to answer a question that we heard. We heard, why is Kristine toning now when she's gone? She does one thing and then she does another thing, then she does another thing. She talks to, light language, then she goes to toning, and then she does an activation. There are many, many, many on this planet who are expressing these abilities to help ascend the consciousness of the planet into the next stage of human evolution. We chose toning because it is the clearest, purest form of communication that goes right to the heart space. Sometimes light language works with the brain, works with the hearts, works with the organs. There is not necessarily a preferred method. It's just that we look at who is Kristine working with, and where's Kristine in her own exploration of self and her own mastery of skills. And this is what we feel is most appropriate, which is also is alignment with Kristine at this time. You may notice different tones, vibrations within the tonings, and we can guarantee you and assure you that whatever, there may be 3 people standing Kristine, each of you will hear a different sound vocalization. You may hear a lower bass sound. That's where there's going into some denser energy, which Kristine calls ancestral trauma. You may call ancestral trauma to be cleared. We can see it in the left ventricles of the hearts most times, but it can be in any place in the heart, within the valves, or within any part of the capillary and capillaries veins within the circulatory system. Then as the resonance of the vibration of the toning goes up, there's a clearing of that space in the really high tone, or where Kristine can't actually get a word, can't get a sound out of her mouth. That's where we're filling the space with the highest vibration that is resonance with your body that you can handle at this time. And we do not mean this as like criticism or anything, but these are new it's like a new electrical current running through your body. We can't run at such a high voltage because your physical body has not transformed enough. And this is true of every being on the planet, just not those that Kristine's working with right now. So it's always transmitted in your highest and best with the greatest amount of love, compassion, joy, and delight that we are sharing this space together. So, and for those of you who may be getting emotional or have tears streaming down your cheeks, it is because you are recognizing the song of your heart. You recognize the song of creation. You're recognizing the song of the Creator. And again, there's no right or wrong to respond to this because everybody's receiving this. Again, with all activations and transmissions, I only close my eyes. That just feels better for me than looking right now, looking at everybody's messages. A little easier for me. But wherever you are, this is going to continue for the next 4 days. So you may have some, your motivation may be a little lax, maybe, or you may be totally motivated. Again, there's no right or wrong. It's going to it's going to align with you that's best for you. But you may absolutely go into that place, that space of nurturing and expansion and peace. There is there is, trying to find the right words, guys. I'm looking at something on my desk that just says, start each day with a grateful heart. And in the space of creation is not only love, but gratitude for the form that's taking place. So allow yourself, invite yourself to find your own definition of that in this moment. What is gratitude for you? What is love? What is unconditional love? And then ask for confirmation of seeing things with loving eyes. And what's really cool is we're starting to see things, the energies that we see with our third eye, and then recently, last 4 or 5 years, we've been starting to catch it with the camera's eye. We're now starting to see it with just the naked eye. Again, if you're seeing it, not seeing it, it's neither here nor there. It's just a recognition of what you may be experiencing. So I'm in a space right now that's it's just expanding. It's very, very, it's just very floaty, but it's like a combination of peace and love within myself. So that's what whether you feel it in the moment and now or you feel it later, that's what you've just embodied. And then as you breathe it in, it becomes part of your essence in the physical form. And when you breathe it out, or look at another, you're activating that within them too. Because when we look at the cosmos, there's this golden web of connection. And then that golden web of connection goes down to the earth plane. It literally looks like gold thread across the entire universe, then across the entire planet. But then that gold thread, we are all connected with that gold thread, and it goes top of our heads and heart space through the belly button. It connects all of us. We are in a unified field right now. Differently than we ever have been before. And the unified field we're in right now is one of trauma. It's just the way collective has chosen to move ahead. It's like, bring all the trauma out, let's take a look at it. It wasn't the only choice we had, but it's what we've chosen. So the quickest way to get out of the trauma is to acknowledge. It's going to sound kind of weird. I'm going to say acknowledge that it doesn't exist. I don't mean don't acknowledge that it is, but it's not all that there is. It's one vibration, one experience. We've like gone over an invisible line, or we've tipped like a scale, some type of scale. And for every experience of trauma, we were on a 1 and 1. So if there's experience of trauma, there's an experience somewhere on the planet within your life that was the exact opposite. Then the last couple months we went over, there was one experience of trauma, 2 or 3 of the exact opposite. Love, kindness, and compassion. Of expansion. We're now at about 1 to 9. As of this morning, for every experience of trauma, we're now experiencing kindness, compassion, celebration, love, nurturing. 1 to 9. We've gone to 1 to 1 to 1 to 9 since about February. That's pretty quick. So we keep doing us. Just keep doing you to the best of your ability. That's why you're here at this time. So I'm going to close out now, but just know that this activation is going to be with you about the next 4 days or so. And you can always ask for more. If you want it longer, just ask for more. You have your personal assistant with you. That's always with you. And my love and my gratitude to all of you. Thank you.